Hello and welcome. Sometimes when you're a bus operator and you're looking at ordering new buses, you can't always get what you want. This was especially true when operators had lots of variety to choose from when it came to bodybuilders and bus manufacturers, and they could specify their own unique style on the bodywork. An example of this being the National Bus Company in the mid-1970s wanting a further batch of Park Royal bodied Leyland Atlanteans, only to discover that delays in production at Park Royal would mean that the buses wouldn't be delivered for a fair few years. Obviously this wasn't acceptable, so they took their business to Eastern Coachworks instead. The delay with the National Bus Company order was caused by production of the London Transport DMS at Park Royal. And while the National Bus Company's solution was to use another bodybuilder, other operators decided to use more ingenious solutions, such as South Yorkshire PTE. They had ordered 29 Leyland FE30 AGR Fleetlines. Now that chassis code shows that they were indeed Fleetlines, 30 feet long, and had a Gardner engine. South Yorkshire PTE were of course no stranger to Fleetlines. They had been ordering them for quite a few years, including this batch with rather strange looking Eastern Coachworks bodywork, which just goes to show how far the South Yorkshire PTE would go to get buses that it wanted, or more importantly needed. At the time, Leyland was experiencing delays in building domestic orders for the Fleetline, and these buses were built between batches for Kowloon Motorbus in Hong Kong, West Midlands Travel and London Transport. The batch was to be registered OKW 501R to OKW 529R. However, delays with the last vehicle would see this one take the registration of SHE 507S. And these were allocated the fleet numbers of 1501 to 1529. With many other bus body manufacturers experiencing high demand for their products, the only company that could fit them in was Metro Camel Wayman. Now at this time in 1976-1977, MCW were building bodies for West Midlands PTE and London Transport, and all of their output was on Fleetlines. And to potentially speed their order up, South Yorkshire were probably given the option for their bodies to be tacked on the end of an order for either West Midlands PTE or London Transport. This would mean that they would receive their bodywork to a design specification of another operator, but it would mean that they would get their buses in a reasonable time. The West Midlands buses were all single doors, so as a standard design this wouldn't really be appropriate for South Yorkshire, as at that time most of their buses were dual doors. So it was felt that the DMS style bodywork that MCW were producing for London Transport would be more appropriate, and this was the style of bodywork that they received. There's a few detailed differences if you look closely. Firstly, the South Yorkshire Fleetlines had the low driving position. The indicators were different. They didn't have the London Transport bunny ear style indicators, and there were no shrouds at the rear end, around the engine compartment. Internally too, they were trimmed out to South Yorkshire PTE's current specifications. The seating layout also was comparable to a DMS Fleetline, with these seating 46 upstairs and 25 downstairs, and a DMS seating 46 upstairs and 24 downstairs. Numerically, their bodies were fitted in between the batches for DMS 2267, OJD 267R and DMS 2025, OUC 25R. Well, I say numerically, MCW didn't actually number its bodies, they were just produced in batches for the registration year. The last of the order, SHE 507S, was built between a batch for West Midlands PTE, they were also Fleetlines, and prior to the commencement of DMS's, DMS 2268 to DMS 2346, which were all B20 Fleetlines. The vehicles didn't have particularly long lives with South Yorkshire, with at the time of privatisation only 2 of the buses receiving South Yorkshire Transport livery, which were 1511 and 1512. By the mid to late 1980s, they had all been sold. And the irony is that some of them actually saw use in London, which at the time was going through privatisation and deregulation itself, and was seeing plenty of operators trying to jostle to operate tendered London regional transport services. 10 ended up being used by Grey Green on the 173 route, and Cityrama acquired 2 for the 196 route. Several others were used by Red Rover Aylesbury, including bus number 1515, which was registered OKW 515R, which is now the preserved example of this batch. This bus is owned by the South Yorkshire Transport Trust, and as you can see by the picture, the amount of work that's involved in restoring it is absolutely colossal. I will put a link into their website up in the top right hand corner. Please pay it a visit and have a look at all the buses they've got in their collection. And if you've got a few spare quid after Christmas, maybe give it to them to aid this worthy restoration project. It's always interesting to speculate, isn't it, if MCW had adopted this style of bodywork as a standard. Who else would have received the DMS lookalike buses? Well, there you go. We've reached the end of the story of this rather unique copycat batch of buses. If you did enjoy this video, please like and share it amongst your friends and family. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell to make sure that you don't miss my future releases. And don't forget to share your comments and memories on South Yorkshire Fleetlines. Did you travel on these buses? I'd be always interested to read your comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.